Hey y'all, it's me again. I am back. So today I decided that I was going to work on some of my whips, and one of them that I showed y'all that I wanted to work on was this pink dragon that I started. I don't really know when I started it, possibly a year, 2 years, probably more like 2 years ago. And that was before that I got sick. And so I just stuffed it in a bag and completely forgot about it. So anyway, this is my absolute first dragon that I've ever made. Let me just show y'all. This was a YouTube tutorial. It took me a little while to figure out. At first I was thinking that it was a free Instagram pattern, but then I could not find anything on Instagram that resembled it. So then I said, well, maybe it was a YouTube tutorial. That's what it was. So I found it almost immediately on YouTube. For whatever reason, once I saw it, I was like, oh yes, that was it. I remember it. But anyway, I got the actual dragon body completed. And then I started working on the legs. Let me show y'all. Isn't she pretty? So let me tell y'all what I did wrong. Y'all probably already know. So I was sewing the legs on. I got this leg on. And guess what? I sewed this one backwards. And so when I realized it, and it was like, oh my God, I had already stuffed the ends in. I had already weaved all these in. So I had to figure out where they were at. And let me tell y'all, I don't do just like a one and done. No, I never do that because I'm scared it's going to fall apart. So of course I weave all over the body. And so here I am, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really should stop doing that until I check the body out completely. Then completely weave my ends in. This has learned me. This has learned me to do it one and done until I can completely check the body. Because now, I honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to get it undone without tearing this foot up. And I'll probably just have to cut it off and make a whole new complete foot. Other than doing it that way, I really don't know how to do it without tearing it up. And I don't want to tear it up. This was a lot of hard work. So, I had probably about right here done, I think. Or maybe one up here done. And then I was like, I don't even remember what hook I used. It was calling for a size 4 hook. The only size 4 hook that I have is a little short metal hook that is okay to use, but I really didn't like it. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to use this Furls hook. This is a 5, but honestly, I feel like that it crochets smaller than my metal 5 hook, if that makes sense. So I said, I really like using this. I'm going to try it. Hopefully I won't have a whole lot of holes. And I don't think that I do. I mean, there are some holes, I think, from where I previously see, but I didn't want to completely redo this dragon, so I just left it as is. Because for one, I had used these real pretty pink sparkly eyes, and I'm pretty sure these are just some that I ordered from Amazon or wherever. I don't know. I can't remember if I bought them or not, because they honestly don't look like regular pink sparkly eyes that you get from Amazon. But I can't really say where I got them from. They may be hand painted, who knows. But I was like, you know what? I am not messing. I'm not just redoing it because it would be hard to get the eyes out. I don't want to mess it up. So I said there's a couple of holes for this being my first one. Whatever. So, have y'all ever done this? Or am I the only one that sews things on backwards, and then for whatever reason it's completed and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely sewed that on backwards. I have done that so many times I couldn't even tell you. But anyway, I've learned on this because I'm just like, I can't keep messing up this bad. So I have literally got so many pattern tests, and I think there's like three that I have to keep secret for a market prep crochet along that I'm involved in. And it is completely right after, I mean, it's like simultaneously after the retro summer crochet along that I'm in. the retro summer, we've already started rolling out bows. And then I think here shortly she will start sending out supply lists and the actual pattern that we're doing. And then it won't be long. I think it starts June the 21st for everybody to, you know, I think that's when the first actual pattern will roll out, is June the 21st. And then this other, so she will start rolling out bows on May the 23rd, May the 23rd. She's going to send the rules out May the 15th. And then she'll do a designer announcement on the 18th, and then they'll start rolling out bows. And so that's the market prep cow. So they're literally simultaneously back to back. For the retro summer, we don't have to keep it secret, but for the market prep, for whatever reason, the host wants us to completely keep what we're doing a secret until it rolls out what pattern, and then we can, you know, which makes it a little bit harder because, you know, I'm a YouTuber and I really like to show my work. I like to show what pattern tests I'm working on. I did one more by her that I have to keep secret, and then I'm starting another one for her. And I don't think that it's secret, but I don't know. I need to ask her on it too. But anyway, then I had another smaller one that was secret, and then mine was secret. And then another lady's that was secret. And then I put in a pattern test for, it's a tree kangaroo. She's got it on there as a cow. So it's called Cal, C-A-L, Scott's Tree Kangaroo, aka Tinkle, T-E-N-K-I-L-E. And this is by Lacey with Ruth Lace Crochet. So she called for the test and I applied and I got in. So I am currently waiting on some yarn, a yarn order that I did. It was supposed to have been here a few days ago. It hadn't come in yet. And then I got a thing saying that it would be here today. And then I got another thing saying that it'll be here tomorrow. So it got delayed or whatever. And that's what happens a lot of times. And then I have a tester call out right now for my make that I'm doing for this market prep cow that I have to keep secret. I can't talk about it. And then on the 16th of May, I will do a tester call. I had already mentioned this for my 50s dance bear. And so it will go for 2 weeks. It'll be to the end of this month. I am also working on a pattern. It is called Itabane the Warthog. And the pattern is by Cheryl with paperish_2. And I wanted to make the warthog kind of look like Pumbaa from the Lion King. Everybody just loves, you know, Timon and Pumbaa. They were the great duo pair. I had some yarn left over. This warthog is pretty big, so I really didn't know exactly how much grams of yarn that I would need. And then I run out of yarn. And so I had tried to look everywhere. I'm talking, the only place that I did find it was on Amazon. And literally, they wanted $15.58 for this one skein of 300 grams of baby blanket terracotta yarn. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to bite the bullet. I'm going to buy this yarn. Tax and all, it was $17. $17 for one skein of yarn without paying shipping is pure ridiculous in my opinion. Y'all help me out. What should a girl do on something like that? I don't have it completely made, so I can't show y'all. So here's the head of it. I don't have the tusks on. I don't have the warts on yet. I've had to use different yarn for the ears. This pink yarn for the nose. The feet has black yarn in it. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? Y'all get what I'm saying? So, with that being said, I have another test that this same creator asked me if I wanted to do after this market prep test that's a secret. And the third one, I think it's some type of goose. And I said, yeah, sure, put me down. On top of all of that, y'all know I'm getting ready for my market. Today is Wednesday. My market is Saturday. It's raining. It's been raining all day today. It's supposed to rain and storm all night. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow. where they have us at is on a baseball field. And I am just hoping that by Saturday that it's not raining and that the ground is not so saturated and muddy. I did get to make one other spider. I did get to make a few other things. I haven't made another smaller dragon. I want to make at least 2 of those. And I'm probably going to be working on those tomorrow. And then Friday, if at all possible, I plan on making some bees. And that's all I'm going to make. I didn't get to make the mice. I didn't get to make the possums. I got the yarn for it. But you know what? I just don't have the time. And I said I was not going to push myself. I was not going to kill myself. I'm going to do what I can do. And that's going to be it. All right, y'all. I'm back. I wanted to show y'all my dragon. So I fixed the feet on it, got them sewed on, and then I made the frill, and then you have to make a heart and sew it on to the end of the tail. And now she goes over everything with you on how to do this. The hardest part, and it's really not that hard, it's just time consuming, but the hardest part is trying to get the frills lined up down the center of the body, because the way that you're crocheting in rounds, it is so difficult to keep these frills just kind of lined up, centered, if you will. But even hers was not centered, and she says that, you know, that to just do your best. So the only other things that I have to do, I have to make the back feet and sew them on, and then I have to make the wings and sew them on, and I'll be done. I'm kind of taking a break right now because I am super tired. We got some bad weather that's supposed to be coming in tonight, and so I may just wait until then, and then because I'm sure I'll be up watching the weather, so I might as well crochet, right? So I don't think I'm going to be able to get the giraffe done in time for my market, but if I do, I will show that as well. The other things that I found that I completely forgot about that I had whips on was this cat and this ballerina bunny. And so I had run out of this colored yarn here, and I was hoping that maybe this would match it, but this is just a little bit lighter than this pink. And I have another project that I'm wanting to do with this, and this is not the same size as this. This is actually a size 5, and it's chenille, and it sheds like crazy. And then this is like a size 5, and it's chenille, and it sheds like crazy. So one of the things that I'm making, I need both of these colors, and I really don't know how much of it I'm going to use, so I need to save these colors. Just wait and finish her for a different time, because I really did like this look. I really like the colors. Same thing with this cat. This is the color that I ran out of when I was making that warthog. I have ordered it, and it's supposed to be in by the 8th or the 9th. We shall see. I also don't know if I even got enough of this to finish the head and the arms, because I haven't even made the arms. And so here's the front of it. The head was very unstable, so I frogged the head. I've still got some frogging to do to get the muzzle off, and I'm going to go ahead and frog all the way back down, frog the head completely off of it, and I'm going to redo the head. So, but anyway, that's what I've been working on. Like I said, still working on market makes. Tomorrow my plan is to make the little mini dragons. Alright, I got my yarn order in from Bernat. Got this, and I had already took the label off of it. This was yesterday's order. This is Bernat and Almond. And then today's order, I got 2 skeins of black, 2 skeins of vintage white. And I got an order. Let me show y'all. This was the order that I did. This is the FAWN. The pattern is by OAKANDMARLOW. And I used the Mama Made Mini Pebble yarn and some of that almond that I got yesterday to make this. And I used 14mm black safety eyes. And y'all, it turned out so cute. So this order is for a baby shower. and it's going to a sweet baby boy on the way, and they're doing deer as their theme, and they're really big into deer and hunting and stuff, and so that was the order for that. And so I just put my business card and put one of my safety hazard slips that I print, and then I laminate them in plastic, and I get these little bags here from Amazon, and I just printed my logo sticker, and then I have these little stickers here. I think them came from Shein or either Temu, I can't remember, but it says love it ? Brag about it. It says snap and share, and then it's of course got a camera, and it's got the little Facebook and Instagram logo on it. So, and then I just put the little FAWN down in there, and she's supposed to come by and pick this up either today or tomorrow. So there's that. Second market this year that I have tried to do, and you know, something has happened to where I can't do the market. So I'm just, you know, I'm really not 100% able to do a market anyway, at least not by myself. So I'm just kind of taking this as a sign from God. Me and my husband were talking about it, and I was like, you know, I should just continue to sell my stuff at the coffee house and then wait until I'm better. I've been having a bad morning this morning, and so I haven't really been able to get up and down and do a whole lot today. I've just been kind of laying around in the bed. I haven't really did a whole lot of crocheting or anything like that. And so I'm just very lightheaded today, low energy, real fatigued, and just super tired. But I was up pretty late last night, and then I was up early this morning because of all the storms that came through. And so I didn't get much sleep, and you know, every now and then I'll have a super bad day. So today has been one of just the bad days. I've just been trying to keep myself calm, laying around and resting, because you have to listen to your body. When your body tells you to rest, you need to rest. So I hate that the market is, you know, we're not going to be able to have the market because of the storms and everything that we're supposed to be getting. And yesterday and last night's storms was extremely bad, extremely bad. There were so many towns that were completely destroyed, so many homes completely destroyed, so many road closures, so many people. I think they said there was like 5,900 people that were without power, and that, you know, that whole entire area was just without power. And so it really was a super bad time for tornadoes. It was just tornado, and one of the tornadoes they said was like close to either a EF4 or EF5. At one time there was 2 twin tornadoes in one town, but there literally has been damage all over. I even found out that here in my hometown that some of my neighbors, their place got damaged. A friend of mine, her whole entire chicken house, big oak tree fell on it, and she was only able to get one chicken out so far. She was trying to make sure that all the other chickens were safe and trying to get the rest of the chickens out. And the tree had fell across their garden, and so they lost the majority of their garden, and they homestead. That's how they sustain themselves. That's how they make their living, is by homesteading and, you know, living off of their land. And it was a big letdown for her, and it's still early on in the year, so I'm pretty sure they can probably replant because it's just May. But still, after all that hard work, you know, I know it's a little disheartening, but still, you know, you can recover things like that versus lives lost where you cannot. I think they said there was over 257 injuries, maybe even more. There were some reports of fatalities, but I haven't heard any more on that. I had seen one report on Facebook where a child was missing, you know, after the tornado. They couldn't find the child, and so they were searching for the child. the Cajun Navy, and I think part of the National Guard. That's what it was. The National Guard was coming to help some of the people in some of the towns, because it was like 3 or either 4 towns. I know it was 3 towns that got severe damage, but there might have been more, and that was to the west of us. And so they're calling for more storms Friday evening, Friday night, all the way through Saturday till about 1 or 2 o'clock Saturday. And so my market was supposed to be in from 9 to 2 Saturday, and I was supposed to be in there around 8 o'clock to set up. And so because of all the rain and the storms, we're gonna cancel. And so because my plushies cannot get wet, you know, I don't have sides for my tents, and so I really have no way of keeping my stuff dry. They were going to have the market on the ball field, and it gets really, really muddy and really nasty. So I hate that this is happening. But it's like I told my husband, we can still, you know, shift things around at the coffee house, and I'm sure she'll probably let me bring more inventory in there, and I'll just keep shifting my stuff out there and selling there. I'm doing good selling there so far. And so I want to continue doing that. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't done a market since November. So I was really hoping to do a market. But it is what it is. And this market was to help to provide the playground equipment for the children in our local area, in our local town. And so I just told the girls that was over the market to just keep my market fee, because I wanted to donate it toward the playground. So I'm not upset about that. And, you know, it is what it is. We can't control the weather. God's in control of all of that. God's control of everything. And I praise God and I thank God, because he kept us safe, y'all. It could have been so much worse, you know, even for our area, because we were under several tornado warnings, and it was like the tornado either just went north of us or south of us. And God really, you know, kept his hands on us. We had been praying and praying and praying. Everybody in our church had been praying, you know, and so I had several people in my chat on Instagram that said they were praying as well. And so God answered those prayers like he always does. So, you know, while, you know, the tornadoes happen, and yes, God, he can control the weather, you know, he made and created everything, you know, but, you know, sometimes life just happens, and it's just part of life. You know, we still have to keep our faith in God that he's going to bring us through no matter what. And I believe in all my heart, you know, that's the reason that there was not as many fatalities as could have been, because y'all, I'm telling y'all, if y'all seen some of the destruction that I seen, I was like, everybody in that area should have been dead. They should have been wiped out, but they weren't. And so God kept his hand on people. We can replace material things. That's what I have for y'all for now. I did not make my other little mini dragons today that I wanted to make, and tomorrow I was supposed to have made mini bees, but I'm not going to do that. I actually have a bee test that is coming up that I'm doing, and so I'm going to be working on just my pattern test. You know, since I've got my yarn in, I can do my pattern test. I can take some of these things to the coffee shop, so I'm happy about that, y'all. But thank y'all for tuning in and watching. I have not created my Etsy shop again, like I said. I'm going to hold off on that and just keep my Ko-fi. So if you're interested, I'm going to try to update my Ko-fi shop when I, you know, get to feeling like it. But if you're interested in making a purchase, you know, you can go to my Ko-fi shop. It's www.kofi.com/AlisaOnCrochet, and I'll put that on the screen for y'all. And you can either just make a donation, buy me a coffee, or you can purchase something. If you want to make a custom order, I have my email on here. You can email me. Just shoot me an email or comment on here if you want to make a custom order. I'm, you know, taking orders every day. So, but anyway, thank y'all again for tuning in. Leave me a comment. Feel free to share this video with all of your friends. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I am currently still less than 100 subscribers, but I know I'm going to get there, and then I know I'm going to get to 1,000 soon. So it's all in God's timing. I hope y'all have a great one. Talk to y'all later.